Start.
First of all, thank you all very much for coming along today. I know we're in FOMO and you've got a bit of time off before the conference starts, so thank you very much. Is that time up?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. And thank you, Luca, for joining me in this roundtable. And thank you, Simone, for use of the room. Now, I decided to have, initially I decided to have a meetup because I'm a startup and I was thinking, how can I get myself and my platform in front of a number of managers in one go? And I thought about a meetup, but then I was thinking, we don't have enough opportunity where managers can sit together and actually share ideas, share complaints, talk about how we do things or how we have what we have difficulty with. So then I thought, okay, you know what, a round table sounds a lot better. Now, because my platform is an alternative to an OTA, and Trips is an alternative to the OTA, and we're all a bit mad with the OTAs right now, I thought, well, what better topic than alternatives? This way, hello, come on in. This way, we both, and in fact there's a third company who's also an alternative, we have an opportunity to share about what we do and why we did what we do, what we're doing, and then we can talk about the issues with the OTA, the benefits of working with the OTAs, and just talk about it. Because I feel that unless you know what the pain points are, you can't design something that's going to be good for everyone. So I actually conducted a very quick survey in the last week or two about attitudes to the OTAs. The issues, the benefits, who you use them, who's giving you the most bookings, and then give us something to chew on later. So if Luca wants to say anything right now, we can cut to Luca, otherwise we'll start.
No, it's okay. Just thank you for the idea. And basically, it was her idea, and I am happy to be able to help. And no, that's a round table, so we won't speak too much.
Yeah.
We just keep it keep it at 10 minutes each. And the idea is actually to discuss all of us. And some of you I know have similar projects with alternatives to OTAs, and so you are welcome to present them. Yeah. And if you're thirsty, there's water when you go outside. Yeah. And if you need Wi-Fi, and then you get it maybe somewhere around here. Login and password. I'll leave it for a while. Should work. Okay.
Yeah. Well, let people log in. Anyway, so my story is I've been a property manager and owner for the last 13 years, and over in Sydney, Australia. And over those 13 years, I've turned away hundreds and hundreds of guests. Either dates weren't available, I didn't have properties in the area that the guest was after. So I turned them away. And it's very disappointing to be turning away business. It's like, why can't I help all of these guests? Hello, come on in.
You can sit here, so it doesn't, if you don't mind. So it doesn't look like you're teaching. Yeah, thanks.
So instead of turning away these guests, why can't I help them? And the reason was because I didn't know any other managers. The industry is very fragmented. In Sydney, there's no meetup groups, there's no LinkedIn groups, there's no Facebook groups, and it hasn't been. I mean, today there's still none. So I thought about, okay, so if I'm going to turn my guest away to someone else to, find their alternate accommodation or their ideal accommodation, who would I want to turn them to? So the idea was I wanted to turn them to independent managers and owners. Those people that are losing control and losing their independence because the OTAs are getting so big and strong. And this is how I feel. I feel that I don't want to be working by their cancellation policies. I want to take my own security deposits. I've been doing it for 13 years. This is the way I do my business, and this is how I would like to continue to do my business. So that's my pain. So I thought, if I can create a network of independent managers and owners who are feeling the same pain, who want control of their businesses, who want to, do the booking their way, then this is the network that I need to build. So I've created Have You Got primarily for guest referrals. So, I've got a guest, I go, hey, have you got a 2-bedroom apartment in Bondi Beach for these dates, Have you got, That's where Have You Got came from. The question I was always asking myself, have you got? So it's for guest referrals. So when you can't accommodate a guest, or even if you have an inquiry that you can't accommodate, they can be just a website inquiry, there can be a return guest that you can't help. The idea is to put their information into the system. The managers that have properties in the right location, there are various filters that the platform works through. The other managers will be notified that there is an inquiry that fits your criteria. They get an opportunity to send a quote which goes direct to the guest. So me being the referrer, I'm not the middleman. My idea is I'm going to help the guest, and there's a whole network of people that are going to help. So the quote goes direct to the guest. The guest then looks through the curated selection of properties. They're not going to end up with 15 pages. What they've asked for is what they're going to get. And then when they book, they're booking direct with the manager. That guest now belongs to that manager. Now, when I say that guest now belongs, that guest was mine. I still have their details. I can still follow it up and say, because if they book, I'll get an email saying, your guest booked and this is how much commission you're going to get. So I know they found something. I can follow up and say, is there anything more you would like, any other questions, anything more I can do for you? The other manager who's got the booking, they're going to be pampering the guest. The guest is going to feel very, very pampered. So this is the way the guest referrals work. It is the sharing community. We're sharing guests, we're sharing commissions, and when people say, oh, but if I send a guest away, then I've lost the guest. Yeah, but another manager is going to be sending a guest in. This is going to be all about sharing. It is sharing. So then I thought, okay, so we have this network of managers that are waiting with properties uploaded. Well, why not allow the public to tap into that network? So the guests can also come direct onto the platform and fill in their online form of all their criteria, and then the properties come to them and they go through exactly the same process. So this is good for people that are really time poor, that don't want to go surfing through 18 pages on properties, and they don't want to be looking at numerous properties, numerous websites. People with very specific criteria that have to double check, okay, are any of the bedrooms on the ground floor? They have to cut and paste that every time they're sending an inquiry on have you got. They just do it once, it goes out to all of them. And it's basically the one-stop shop to book direct with independent managers and owners. So there's no guest fees, you're booking direct, you're booking local, and yeah, the guest gets an ideal property. A manager gets a referral fee, you do get commission if you refer, and someone gets booked. Now the idea is that you stay in complete control. You're using your own policies. You do whatever you do for security deposits, however you process them, and you stay in control, because that's what I want. I want to stay in complete control the way I used to work. And that's how you got it. Anyone have any questions?
How does it split? If a guest, for example, or if you refer a guest to another property, how is it split? That you were talking about a commission.
Okay.
Right.
So to get a booking on Have You Got, the payment, the commission payment, the payable is 5%. I wanted to keep it as low as Airbnb, but Airbnb is we're all going to end up paying 14%. So I wanted to keep it low because I wanted everyone to, come on board. It's a low commission. If you are the referring manager and someone books within Have You Got, you get 3% and the platform gets 2%. So we really are rewarding the referrers who are bringing in people. Now I forgot to mention also, there's actually another role. So there's a manager and then there's a guest, but there's also another role. So where Airbnb and Booking.com are saying, refer a host, bring another property, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying, stuff that, refer a guest. So anyone can actually refer a guest into Have You Got, and if they book, that person gets commission. So I'm encouraging people to bring guests in and encouraging bookings so we can all win, and they can get a referral. So you don't even have to have any properties, you can refer a guest in. And to refer a guest is as little as sending them a link. They click on the link, they fill in the form, it's like an affiliate link. So they don't have to do anything more than send that link. So if you have a friend who's going away, they're like, you can be just a regular, Joe Blow on the street. Your friend is going away, here, I know this great service. Click on this, fill this in, da 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 da. They make a commission. Yeah. So it's 5% and 3% to the referrer.
So the platform just goes through the platform income.
No, the payments are between the guest and the manager. Come check-in day, that's when the commissions are due. and that's when the manager then pays the commission, and it's all automated on the platform. So it's just it's through PayPal right now. There will be other methods of payment, but right now you click the button and it's all automated. It goes to the correct manager. Hello. It goes to the correct manager, and it goes to you don't have to fill in any amounts. It's all pre-filled.
So where do you make your money
Yeah.
as a platform?
The commission.
Sorry, I was missing
So have you gets 2% and the referrer gets
It's still using.
yeah, if someone comes to the next platform, so that's the referring.
I suppose $1 million question is, can you live on 2%?
Well,
Depends on volume.
yeah, exactly. You know, I want to, so because it's no search, because you end up with a smaller selection, and because you're dealing with real people, right? It's not an OTA middleman, you know, you can't even find a phone number to speak to someone. The guest is going to be quite pampered, and I'm relying on the guest having such a nice service, you know, it's like, I've told people that, hello, how are you? I've told my guests that, I'm sorry, I can't